April 19, 1945. Kakaza Ridge, Okinawa. Japanese Imperial Army officers peered through field glasses as American infantry approached their fortress, a 6-month engineering masterpiece carved deep into Okinawa limestone. Interconnected caves. Steel-reinforced concrete bunkers. Overlapping fields of fire designed to turn every approach into a killing ground. According to captured battle plans recovered by U.S. military intelligence, Japanese commanders calculated these positions would hold for weeks, maybe months. Conservative estimates, 5,000 American casualties minimum. Official after-action reports from the 713th Armored Flamethrower Battalion tell a different story. The fortifications were destroyed in 7 minutes. Let that sink in. Half a year of construction. Elite troops from Japan's 62nd Division manning positions they believed were impregnable. American forces had already bled themselves white trying conventional assaults, 720 casualties, in just 3 days, with virtually no progress. Then everything changed. Post-battle engineering surveys documented by Army engineers reveal over 60,000 individual defensive positions across Okinawa. American flamethrower teams averaged 15 to 20 fortification eliminations per day per team. What took months to build became death traps in minutes. Traditional assault methods produced 40 to 60% casualty rates. Flamethrower assaults? 5 to 10%. But here's the question that haunted Japanese commanders in their final interrogations. How did American forces develop a weapon so devastating it made Japan's most sophisticated fortifications, positions that cost months of engineering effort and were manned by battle-hardened troops, completely irrelevant? And why were Japanese commanders, despite fighting Americans for nearly 4 years across the Pacific, completely unprepared for what hit them at Okinawa? Military records reveal the answer lies in Japanese defensive doctrine and their fatal miscalculation about American innovation. The Japanese knew exactly what they were doing. At Iwo Jima, just 2 months earlier, Japanese defenders had turned 8 square miles of volcanic rock into a nightmare that cost 26,000 American casualties. Marine Corps records document how 1,600 defenders at Peleliu held out for 10 weeks against 28,000 Marines, a battle estimated to last 2 days stretched into 73 days of hell. Now at Okinawa, Lieutenant General Mitsuru Ushijima commanded the 32nd Army, 77,000 combat troops plus 20,000 Okinawan conscripts. And they'd had 6 months to prepare. Army engineering surveys conducted after the battle revealed the scope of Japanese preparations. Over 60,000 individual defensive positions carved deep into Okinawa's limestone bedrock. 60 miles of interconnected tunnels. 450 fortified hills. This wasn't just fortification. This was fortress warfare perfected through bitter experience. Captured Japanese planning documents from National Archives holdings show Ushijima's deliberate strategic evolution. Abandon beach defenses, trade space for time, bleed the Americans white in the interior. His defensive doctrine was simple and brutal, make every yard cost American blood. The caves themselves were engineering marvels. Technical surveys document positions 30 to 40 feet deep with multiple chambers, connecting tunnels, and reinforced entrances creating interlocking fields of fire. Steel-reinforced concrete bunkers proved resistant to 500-pound bombs and 16-inch naval shells. Navy bombardment reports confirmed Japanese defenders simply withdrew deeper during bombardment, then returned to fighting positions. The psychological warfare was calculated. Americans couldn't see defenders, couldn't predict where fire would come from. Combat stress casualty reports documented the mental toll of this tomb warfare. Japanese confidence wasn't arrogance, it was based on proven results. Declassified ultra-intercepts show Imperial headquarters expected Okinawa to last 6 months minimum. Ushijima's captured statement said it plainly. Each cave is a fortress that will cost the enemy hundreds of lives. Imperial staff post-war interrogations revealed their strategic calculation. Inflict 100,000 plus American casualties, break their will, force negotiated peace before homeland invasion. Early American assaults validated Japanese confidence. The 96th Infantry Division's April 9th through 12th assault on Kakazu Ridge, 720 casualties, virtually no progress. Division after-action reports documented the futility. 20,000 Navy shells fired with minimal effect, Sherman tanks unable to elevate guns to engage cave entrances, Japanese anti-tank teams destroying 22 tanks in the first week alone. While Japanese commanders celebrated their impregnable fortress, declassified American military documents reveal a secret weapon was already being refined, one that would turn Japan's greatest defensive advantage into a death trap. American commanders knew they were facing a nightmare. Military doctrine demanded 3-to-1 numerical advantage for successful assault on fortified positions. At Okinawa, 10th Army records document near 1-to-1 ratios in many sectors. The terrain itself favored defenders. Army topographic surveys classified Okinawa's southern sector as ideal defensive terrain. Limestone ridges honeycombed with caves, elevation advantage to Japanese defenders, limited approach routes funneling attackers into killing zones. Joint Chiefs Staff estimates, now declassified, predicted 35 to 50% casualty rates for infantry units in the first 30 days. Some planners calculated over 100,000 casualties for complete conquest. Total campaign projection, 268,000 American casualties. The equipment situation was equally grim. 96th Infantry Division after-action analysis documented the problem bluntly. Standard infantry weapons and artillery prove inadequate against cave defenses. Explosive charges rarely penetrate deep enough. Enemy simply withdraws into tunnels. Tank Battalion reports revealed M4 Shermans couldn't engage elevated cave positions. Guns elevated maximum 25 degrees. Most cave entrances sat at 35 to 45 degree angles. Demolition teams faced suicide missions, approaching within yards to place satchel charges. Army engineer records show engineer casualty rates exceeded 40% in the first 2 weeks. Allied confidence was shattered. British liaison officer reports from National Archives expressed doubt American forces could reduce fortifications without months-long siege and unacceptable casualties. Contemporary press coverage analyzed by NARA researchers showed consistent theme. Time magazine predicted Okinawa would make Iwo Jima look like a training exercise. Navy planning documents revealed strategic anxiety. Prolonged Okinawa campaign might delay Japanese invasion into 1946, giving Soviets opportunity to intervene and claim post-war influence. Initial combat validated worst fears. 96th and 7th Infantry Divisions suffered 2,880 casualties advancing just 4 miles against a fortified zone in 2 weeks. The April 9th Kakazu Ridge Assault. Entire attack waves pinned down, tank infantry coordination collapse, 30% casualties in assault companies. Official battle reports documented complete tactical failure using conventional methods. But while infantrymen struggled with standard tactics, classified chemical warfare service documents reveal American engineers had been perfecting a terrible innovation, one that turned Japan's fortification strategy into a fatal miscalculation. While Japanese commanders perfected their cave fortifications, American engineers were solving the problem from a completely different angle. Chemical Warfare Service. After-action reports from Guadalcanal and Tarawa documented early M1 flamethrower limitations, 40-foot range, 8-second fuel duration, unreliable ignition. Essentially useless against fortified positions. But engineering development records from Edgewood Arsenal, Maryland show systematic innovation from 1943 through 44. The M2-2 flamethrower doubled range to over 80 feet, increased fuel capacity to 40-plus seconds burn time, improved ignition reliability to 98%. Technical specifications verified through Army Ordnance documentation. 68 pounds fully loaded, 20 to 40 meter effective range, thickened fuel mixture using napalm powder, aluminum naphthenate, that created clinging, sustained burn at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But the real breakthrough came from Navy-Army collaboration documented in SyncPack engineering reports. Standard M4 Sherman tanks modified with Canadian Ronson flame systems, designated CWS H5, nicknamed Zippo tanks. Army Ordnance records confirm specifications: 60 to 80 yards sustained flame range, 290-gallon fuel capacity, giving 80 seconds continuous burn, standard Sherman armor allowing close approach to fortifications. Japanese prisoner interrogations later described psychological impact as terrified beyond rational response. Marine Corps records document intensive tactical doctrine development. Flamethrower schools established at Camp Pendleton, California, and Hawaii ran 3-week courses teaching assault tactics, safety procedures, psychological preparation. 3-man team concept evolved: flamethrower operator, assistant carrying extra fuel, rifleman for protection. 1st Marine Division after-action reports credit them with perfecting tank infantry coordination. Infantry suppresses Japanese observers. Tanks advance to point-blank range. Flame eliminates position. The refinement came through battle. Chemical Warfare Service compiled effectiveness rates across Pacific campaigns. Saipan in June 1944, 60% cave positions reduced by flame. Peleliu September through November 44, 75% effectiveness, tactics refined. Iwo Jima February through March 45, 85% effectiveness, doctrine standardized. By Okinawa, 10th Army planning documents showed deliberate massing of assets. 713 Armored Flamethrower Battalion with 8 companies, 54 tanks, plus 2 to 3 portable flame teams per infantry company. Japanese intelligence completely missed it. Captured 32nd Army planning documents show 0 specific counterflame tactics. Their fortifications were designed against bullets, shells, explosives, but inadequate ventilation made them death traps against flame and heat. Ultra-intercepts confirm Japanese commanders at Okinawa received minimal intelligence on American flame warfare developments. American industrial capacity told the story. U.S. manufactured 14,000-plus portable flamethrowers by April 45 versus Japan's few hundred. Over 15,000 Marines and soldiers trained in flame warfare versus fewer than 1,000 Japanese flamethrower operators in the entire Pacific theater. As American forces prepared to unleash this refined weapon system, Japanese forces at Okinawa remained in their caves, confident in their preparations, completely unaware that their fortress was about to become their tomb. The timeline tells the story. April 1st through 8th. Initial landings met light resistance as Japanese withdrew to fortified southern zone exactly per defensive plan. 10th Army G.2 reports documented the calculated Japanese retreat. April 9th through 12th, first assaults on Kakazu Ridge Line resulted in catastrophic failure. 96th Division after-action reports documents 720 casualties with minimal progress. Conventional tactics proven inadequate. April 13th through 18th, American commanders regrouped, brought up specialized assets. Ziv Corps operations orders show 713 armored flamethrower battalions, first companies arriving. April 19th designated Day of Decision. 10th Army Field Order No. 15 outlined coordinated assault with concentrated flamethrower support. Division records document deliberate asset massing. 8 Zippo tanks assigned a lead assault wave, 12 portable flame teams attached to assault companies. After-action reports describe hasty training sessions April 15th through 18th teaching infantry flame team coordination, mark targets, provide covering fire, exploit flame strikes. Field Artillery Battalion records detailed fire support plans, walking barrage to suppress Japanese observers during flame tank approach. Japanese confidence remained absolute. Captured planning maps showed intricate Kakazu cave system, 17 major positions, 40-plus secondary positions, all mutually supporting. A Japanese company commander's diary, translated by Military Intelligence Service, recovered after battle. April 18th, American attacks continue to fail. Our positions are impregnable. The fool Americans waste their lives against stone and steel. Captured 32nd Army staff estimates from April 15th predicted Americans would need 2 to 3 weeks minimum to reduce Kakazu, with casualties exceeding 3,000. American intelligence worked overtime. Army Air Force photo reconnaissance identified major cave positions but couldn't assess depth or interconnections. Night patrol reports documented approaches, Japanese alert patterns, optimal assault routes. Limited prisoner interrogations provided general cave layout, though Japanese defense-in-depth strategy meant most defenders had zero intention of surrendering. Weather conditions April 19th proved optimal. Clear skies, moderate wind 8 to 12 miles per hour from east, temperature 75 degrees Fahrenheit. 10th Army Weather Section records confirm perfect flame operation conditions. Engineering surveys noted morning sun would be in Japanese defenders' eyes facing east. American assault deliberately planned from eastern approach to maximize this advantage. Lieutenant General Simon Buckner's daily log from April 18th revealed mounting pressure. Progress insufficient. Must break through fortified zone within days or face unacceptable attrition timeline. Meanwhile, ultra-decrypt April 18th showed Japanese local commanders reporting enemy attacks easily repulsed, morale excellent, position secure. 0530 hours April 19th, artillery preparation began. Field artillery after-action reports document 30-minute bombardment to suppress Japanese observers, create smoke and dust for flame tank approach. 0600 hours, infantry assault companies moved to line of departure with attached flame teams. Battalion operations journals recorded the movement. 0615 hours, 713 armored flamethrower battalion Zippo tanks moved forward from assembly areas. At precisely 0630 hours on April 19, 1945, as Japanese defenders settled into their impregnable positions, they were about to witness warfare they could never have imagined, and for many, it would be the last thing they saw. 0630 hours. 713 Armored Flamethrower Battalion after action reports document the first Zippo tank approaching cave position number 7, official Army tactical map designation. Japanese defenders opened fire with small arms. Bullets sparked harmlessly off Sherman armor. 0632. Tank commanders report documented, position 25 yards from cave entrance. Japanese fire intensifying but ineffective. Preparing to engage. Infantry squad providing covering fire suppressed adjacent positions. 0633. First flame discharge. 80-yard stream of thickened napalm fuel engulfing cave entrance. Tank commander report, sustained 8-second burst into main entrance. Secondary flames observed from connecting positions. The effects were immediate and catastrophic. Chemical Warfare Service technical analysis documented flame temperature reached 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit at cave entrance. Superheated air penetrated 40 to 50 feet into cave systems. Medical examiner reports from recovered Japanese bodies showed many died from asphyxiation. Flame consumed all available oxygen in sealed cave systems within 15 to 20 seconds. Within 90 seconds, first Japanese soldiers emerged, uniforms smoldering, hands raised in surrender. Unit photographer time-stamped photos documented this moment. 0638. After second flame burst, 23 Japanese soldiers, verified count from prisoner processing records, surrendered from interconnected cave system. Position that resisted conventional assault for 8 days neutralized in 7 minutes. Military Intelligence Service interrogation reports captured the terror in nearby positions. We heard screaming. Saw flames pour from tunnels. Smoke filled our position. Officers lost control. Many fled deeper, some to surface. Infantry after-action reports show riflemen immediately occupied neutralized positions, used them as firing bases, advancing 200 yards in 15 minutes, progress that took days in previous attacks. 713 Battalion report described perfected technique, tank advances to within 20 to 30 yards. Infantry suppresses Japanese. Observers. Tank delivers 8 to 10 second flame burst. Infantry exploits immediately. Average time per position, 5 to 8 minutes. Battalion records document 8 Zippo tanks reduced 27 fortified positions by 0800 hours, average 3.4 positions per tank per hour. Infantry casualties during flame-supported assault, 14 wounded, 2 killed. Previous day same sector without flame support, 96 casualties. Captured Japanese lieutenant interrogation report from April 20th described defensive collapse. Officers ordered us to hold positions. But how do you hold against fire that comes through stone? Some men shot themselves rather than burn. Others fled into American guns. All discipline collapsed. Engineering analysis reports documented how interconnected tunnel systems designed for safety became killing channels. Flame and superheated air traveled through connecting tunnels, affecting positions hundreds of feet from initial strikes. Prisoner statistics told the story. April 1st through 18th average, 12 prisoners per day. April 19th, 140 prisoners, most from fortified zone. Portable M2-2 teams work through secondary positions. Rifle Company after-action reports document 3-man teams averaging 6 to 8 position reductions per day with minimal casualties. Marine Eugene Sledge's memoir captured the experience. The operator opened up. The napalm stream looked like a brilliant yellow-orange dragon's breath. The Japanese screaming stopped in seconds. Nothing could survive that inferno. 713 Battalion maintenance records showed 98% operational readiness. 52 of 54 tanks completed missions without mechanical failure. Despite carrying volatile fuel, only one Zippo tank lost to Japanese fire entire day versus 7 standard Shermans knocked out. After-action analysis credited success to combined arms integration. Artillery suppressed observers, infantry marked targets, tanks delivered killing blow, engineers permanently destroyed positions. By afternoon, average position reduction time dropped under 5 minutes. By noon on April 19th, the Japanese defensive system that was supposed to bleed American forces for weeks was in ruins. But the full scope of the disaster for Japanese commanders was only beginning to emerge. The collapse was immediate and total. Captured orders from Japanese 62nd Division headquarters, April 19th evening, showed frantic desperation. All units report status. Cave positions 7 through 33 not responding. Request immediate situation reports. No responses received. National Archives translations document positions either destroyed or abandoned. Engineering surveys post-battle revealed American flame attacks destroyed Japanese telephone wire systems, superheated air melted insulation, smoke-filled tunnels cut field phone communication within hours. Military Intelligence Service Interrogation Summary IS. 287 documented leadership devastation. Our company commander died from burns. Platoon leaders lost control. Some soldiers fled independently. No coordination possible. The psychological impact shattered Japanese morale. A captured private's diary, translated April 25th, described the horror. April 19, hell came to our caves. Fire that moves like a living thing. Nakamura-sen burned alive before us. Screaming lasted long time. Cannot think. Cannot fight. Only want to live. Prisoner statistics from 10th Army G. 2 daily reports tracked exponential surrender increase. April 19th, 140 surrendered. April 20th, 186. April 21st, 203. Word spread through Japanese positions like the flame itself. Post-battle Army engineers' assessment documented over 60 fortified positions abandoned with equipment intact, weapons, ammunition, supplies left behind as Japanese forces fled without orders. The very fortifications designed for defense became death traps. Marine Corps Historical Division Tactical Analysis documented how Japanese defense in-depth doctrine with fallback positions became impossible. Connecting tunnels turned into killing channels as soldiers tried escaping flame and heat. Ultra Decrypt April 21st intercepted 32nd Army Headquarters transmission to subordinate units. Reports indicate severe morale degradation. Soldiers refusing to occupy cave positions. Defense plan compromised. Captured Japanese medical officer interrogation revealed 200-plus severe burn casualties first 48 hours, completely overwhelmed. Japanese medical capability, further degrading combat effectiveness. Lieutenant General Ushijima's headquarters initially refused to believe reports of rapid position loss. Ultra intercepts show, demanding verification. Captured Staff Journal April 22 entry acknowledged reality. Cave defense system ineffective against American flame weapons. No effective countermeasure identified. Must revise defensive strategy. Too late. Post-war strategic bombing survey interviews revealed Imperial headquarters in Tokyo received word of flamethrower effectiveness, began assessing implications for homeland defense. American exploitation was swift. 10th Army Daily Operations reports document advance rates, April 1st through 18th, 0.2 miles per day. April 19th through 25th, 1.3 miles per day, 650% increase. Division medical reports show American casualties April 19th through 25th 40% lower than April 9th through 18th despite increased tempo. After-action analysis noted, flame weapons broke Japanese defensive system, allowing return to mobile operations. Enemy no longer could impose attritional warfare on our terms. Kakazu Ridge, which cost 720 casualties in earlier failed assaults, taken with 116 casualties once flame tactics employed. Ziv Corps comparative casualty analysis documented the transformation. G2 intelligence assessments reported Japanese units in other sectors observing flame weapon effectiveness began abandoning elaborate cave positions, retreating to less effective defensive lines. The domino effect had begun. The immediate tactical victory at Kakazu Ridge was obvious, but U.S. Army strategic assessments show the implications extended far beyond one ridge on Okinawa. The strategic impact was immediate and profound. 10th Army operational summaries documented flame weapons reduced projected Okinawa campaign timeline, original estimate 90 to 120 days, actual 82 days. Army historical analysis credited flame tactics for 15 to 20-day reduction. Statistical analysis in after-action reports calculated flame weapons prevented estimated 8,000 to 12,000 American casualties that would have resulted from conventional cave-clearing operations. SINCPAC report to Joint Chiefs, May 15, 1945, recommended flame weapons demonstrated as essential for future Pacific operations. Maximum production and deployment priority recommended for Olympic planning. Japanese defensive capability collapsed. G2 weekly intelligence summaries documented 32nd Army effectiveness dropped 40% in fortified zones after April 19th, commanders unable to maintain troops in cave positions. Prisoner statistics told the transformation story. April 1st through 18th, 227 total prisoners. April 19th through May 15th, 2,340 prisoners, 1,000% increase attributed primarily to flame weapon psychological impact. Provost Marshal statistics confirmed the numbers. Captured Japanese planning documents for Homeland Defense, recovered June 45, showed continued reliance on cave fortification strategy. Military Intelligence Service translation summaries revealed Okinawa experience proved this approach would fail catastrophically against American flame tactics. Allied command reaction was swift. Admiral Nimitz's official commendation to 713 Armored Flamethrower Battalion, May 1st, your innovative employment of specialized weapons has fundamentally altered the tactical situation on Okinawa. This represents a significant advancement in amphibious warfare doctrine. MacArthur's Southwest Pacific Area Command requested priority shipment of flame tanks for Philippine operations final phases. British National Archives document Royal Engineers liaison reports recommending adoption of American flame tactics for planned Southeast Asia. Operations. The home front celebrated technological triumph. War Department released limited information on flamethrower operations May 45, emphasizing American ingenuity. Time magazine May 14th issue featured Fire and Steel at Okinawa, describing flame weapons as the answer to Japan's cave fortresses. War Department public opinion surveys showed 78% of respondents expressed increased confidence in Pacific victory timeline after news of flame weapon success, seen as technological solution to Japanese fanaticism. Industrial response matched strategic need. War Production Board records show May 45 orders for flame equipment increased 300%. Chemical Warfare Service personnel records document recruitment and training of additional 5,000 flamethrower specialists May through July for Operation Olympic, planned Kyushu invasion November 45. Navy supply planning allocated 50 million gallons of napalm fuel mixture for Japan invasion based on Okinawa consumption rates. Theater-wide adoption followed immediately. 6th Army reports from May-June 45 Luzon operations show Okinawa flame tactics reduced casualty rates 35% in mountain warfare. Marine Corps and Army revised infantry training manuals incorporating flame team tactics as standard doctrine. Training Circular 25-45, Employment of Flame Weapons in Cave Warfare, became required reading. Army Ground Forces records show portable flamethrowers distributed to all infantry regiments by June, previously limited to specialist units. Japanese response revealed strategic bankruptcy. Post-war strategic bombing survey interviews with Japanese engineers and planners revealed no successful counterflame tactics developed. Ultra Intercepts May-June showed Imperial headquarters debates over homeland defense, recognition that Cave's strategy compromised, no viable alternative identified. Joint Chiefs Staff estimates for Operation Downfall revised downward May 45, flame weapons expected to reduce cave clearing casualties 40 to 50%. But military historians and professional military education institutions document that the flame weapon success at Okinawa represented more than just tactical innovation. It fundamentally changed modern warfare. Army Center of Military History's official monograph, Innovation in Combat, the Pacific War documents flame weapons as one of 3 most significant tactical innovations of the Pacific Campaign, alongside amphibious assault doctrine and carrier aviation. The assessment is clear. Flamethrowers fundamentally solve the Japanese cave defense problem that threatened to make Pacific victory prohibitively costly. Combat Studies Institute historical analysis calculates flame weapons prevented estimated 40,000 to 60,000 American casualties that would have resulted from conventional reduction of Japanese fortifications at Okinawa, Luzon, and smaller Pacific operations April through August 1945. Naval War College study Logistics and Victory in the Pacific argues flame weapon effectiveness at Okinawa accelerated Pacific victory timeline by 2 to 3 months. Psychological impact on Japanese defenders and strategic planners compounded military effects. The implications for Operation Downfall were profound. Army War College analysis documents Operation Olympic planning relied fundamentally on flame weapon employment, cave fortifications expected throughout southern Japan, flame tactics designed as primary reduction method. Joint Chiefs historians note flame weapon success at Okinawa contributed to revised, lower casualty estimates for Japan invasion. Though still projecting 250,000 to 500,000 American casualties, this represented significant reduction from earlier 1 million plus estimates assuming conventional cave clearing methods. Some historians, including Stanford's Barton Bernstein, argue flame weapon success paradoxically made invasion seem more feasible to planners, complicating decision matrix around atomic bomb employment, though ultimately rendered moot by Japanese surrender. The doctrinal legacy endures. Marine Corps University study integration of specialized weapons cites Okinawa flame operations as textbook example of combined arms coordination. Infantry, armor, artillery, engineers working seamlessly with specialized weapon systems. Army Command and General Staff College case study analyzes how Chemical Warfare Service identified specific tactical problem, developed technological solution, refined through combat experience from Tarawa through Iwo Jima, achieved decisive effect at Okinawa. This problem-solution innovation model guides future capability development. Walter Reed Army Institute Military Psychiatry studies documented flame weapons' psychological impact exceeded physical effects. Terror factor broke enemy cohesion before physical destruction complete. The technology evolved across conflicts. Army historical records document flamethrowers employed in Korean War cave and bunker clearing 1950 through 53. North Korean and Chinese forces used similar cave tactics. Americans applied World War II flame doctrine. Marine Corps and Army employed flame weapons in Vietnam 65 through 70 for bunker and tunnel clearing. Direct lineage from Pacific War tactics, though controversial due to civilian impact concerns. Defense analysts trace lineage from World War II flamethrowers through Vietnam flame weapons to modern thermobaric munitions, fuel-air explosives serving same tactical purpose with different technology. Academic consensus is clear. Historian Max Hastings in Retribution, The Battle for Japan, argues flame weapons at Okinawa represented perhaps the single most effective tactical innovation against fortified positions in the Pacific War. Academic discourse continues. Historians like John Dower note flame weapons' horrific nature, while military historians like Richard Frank argue effectiveness prevented greater casualties on both sides by shortening war. Army and Marine Corps professional military education still uses Okinawa flame operations as case study in innovation, combined arms, specialized weapon employment. Current syllabi from Fort Leavenworth and Quantico confirm ongoing educational value. Military historians compare World War II flame weapon development to other wartime innovations, radar, proximity fuse, code breaking, as examples of how operational necessity drives rapid technological and tactical advancement. Defense analysts note flame weapons represented asymmetric response to Japanese defensive asymmetry. Japan chose fortification strategy to offset American material superiority. Americans developed specialized weapon that negated fortification advantage. Contemporary military planners study Pacific flame warfare for lessons on counterinsurgency and urban warfare. Similar problem of determined defenders in fortified positions remains relevant. Cambridge University military historian Richard Overy includes flame weapon effectiveness as factor in Allied victory, solved tactical problem that could have extended Pacific War, increased casualties to politically unsustainable levels. Japanese military historians acknowledge flame weapons destroyed strategic defensive concept for homeland defense, contributed to Japanese leadership's recognition that continued resistance would result in complete destruction. National World War II Museum exhibits feature flame weapon operations as key innovation. Army Chemical Corps Historical Office maintains educational programs on flame warfare history used to train current officers. National Archives maintains extensive flame weapon records used by historians, researchers, military professionals studying innovation and tactical effectiveness. The story of flamethrowers at Okinawa perfectly encapsulates a broader truth that military historians and educators continue to document and teach. Military historians at the U.S. Army Center of Military History identify the flame weapon story as a perfect case study in American military innovation. Identify the problem, Japanese cave fortifications. Develop the technology, improved. Flamethrowers. Refined through experience, Saipan through Iwo Jima. Achieve decisive effect Okinawa. This pattern, documented across American military history from the Civil War through modern conflicts, represents a fundamental advantage, the ability to innovate faster than adversaries can adapt. The statistics remain staggering. Fortifications that took Japanese engineers 6 months to construct, destroyed in 7 minutes. Defensive positions expected to hold for weeks, neutralized in a single morning. Casualties projected at 100,000 plus, reduced by an estimated 40,000 to 60,000 through technological innovation. Over 100,000 Japanese defenders died at Okinawa, many in cave systems they thought would protect them, turned into death traps by American flame weapons. Yet historians calculate flame tactics prevented even greater casualties on both sides by accelerating victory. From the Continental Army's rifled muskets at Saratoga, to Union ironclads at Hampton Roads, to P-51 Mustangs over Germany, to precision-guided munitions in Desert Storm, American military history documents consistent pattern. Faced with determined enemies and seemingly insurmountable challenges, American forces innovate. The flamethrowers at Okinawa fit perfectly into this tradition. Technological superiority combined with tactical ingenuity, executed by brave soldiers and Marines who perfected doctrine under fire. Lieutenant General Simon Bolivar Buckner, 10th Army Commander, wrote in his June 1945 after-action report, "The employment of flame weapons against fortified cave positions represents the most significant tactical innovation of the Okinawa campaign." These weapons, properly employed by well-trained personnel, transformed an operational problem threatening to extend the campaign indefinitely into a solution enabling decisive victory. Tragically, General Buckner was killed by Japanese artillery June 18th, just days before victory, but his assessment has been validated by 7 decades of military historical analysis. Understanding how American forces solved the impossible problem of Japanese cave fortifications isn't just military history. It's a masterclass in innovation, adaptation, determination. The soldiers and Marines who perfected flame warfare tactics were literally writing the doctrinal manual on specialized weapon employment that military professionals study today at Fort Leavenworth, Quantico, and West Point. If this story shocked you, how 7 minutes of flame warfare destroyed months of Japanese defensive engineering, hit that like button and subscribe. Want to learn more? The Army Center of Military History's Okinawa, The Last Battle, is available free online. The National World War II Museum has extensive exhibits on Pacific War innovations. The National Archives maintains thousands of documents from the Okinawa campaign available to researchers. The flamethrowers at Okinawa weren't just weapons, they were problem-solving tools wielded by Americans who refused to accept that any defensive position was truly impregnable. 79 years later, military professionals worldwide still study their tactics. Never underestimate American capacity for innovation when stakes are highest. History proves it time and time again. Everything you've heard today is documented in official military records, verified through academic research, supported by primary sources. This isn't speculation, it's history, backed by evidence.